Now the 64th verse sort of contradicts what was said in 63. He said, all that is perceived, drishyate and shruyate, all that is perceived and heard is Brahman and nothing else. On self-realization, one realizes the non-dual Brahman as Satchidamanam, existence, knowledge, and bliss. Now, the apparent contradiction, the previous verse said universe is other than Brahman. This verse is whatever you hear, whatever is seen, means all that you experience in the terrestrial world is nothing other than Brahman. So the previous verse says the universe is other than Brahman. And this verse says everything is Brahman. Now, why this apparent contradiction? Now, the apparent contradiction arises. Now, the reason why it is intentionally put that way, for one who has not realized the self, the universe is very much real. For example, for all of us who have not yet realized the truth, we all perceive the world to be real. We all are caught up in the pluralistic phenomenon. The world affects us. We're all victim of the so-called illusion. It's not an illusion, it's reality for us. So just to ensure that you don't get involved in the world, you don't get carried away in the world, they say the Brahman is other than the world, is other than the universe. So when they say the truth is other than Brahman, so other than the world, Brahman is other than the universe, the objective is to extricate you from your attachments to the world, is to relieve you, is to ensure you that you don't get attached to the world. Now, but for a man of realization, the world, which is the universe, and Brahman are one and the same. There is no difference in the standpoint. So what we need to understand, a point which I've made in the discussions in the past, in the philosophy, there's always a relative standpoint and an absolute standpoint. And once you, wherever there is an apparent contradiction, it's only because of the standpoint. In fact, many a time we get into argument with people, not knowing we are saying the same thing, because you're only talking from your standpoint, but you are talking the same thing. But since we are so caught up from our own egoistic standpoint, we don't see that we are all speaking the truth. The same thing is being said. So there is no contradiction, it's only apparent. All right, so that's what the difference between 63rd and the 64th verse. And then the rest of the verse, he says, on self-realization, one realizes the non-dual. The question of duality came in the 62nd verse when he introduces the concept of the iron ball and fire. There was a concept of duality. So he quickly clarifies that and he says, once you realize, you will realize that there is nothing else but the one truth, which is the non-dual. Non-dual is not two, which means one. The Brahman is only ekam. And what is the nature of that? Existence, knowledge, bliss. Now, Satchidananda or Satchit Sukham is the often given description of what Brahman is. We have many a time we have referred to that, so you can fall back on your understanding as to what Satchit Sukham or Satchit Anandam is. All right, so